Hello everyone. Welcome to this tutorial on public API, public JSON API parsing. So we'll be using a public API to create an Android app. So, so we will be creating another project. Before that, we'll search for an public API. So we'll try using Pokemon API. So this is your Pokemon API. So for documentation, you can check this out. This documentation in various JSON JSON get methods. So here, how to get, so Pokemon API.co.pi. So if we go to the home page, we have here a sample submit. So it will deliver or parse a JSON data. So if we try this on our browser, so let's try Pokemon Pikachu. So we'll be created a large data parse data JSON. So now we will be viewing this on a JSON viewer to make the data readable for us. So copy this link, go to this website codebeautify.org/JSON viewer. So next you need to do is you click URL, paste that here, and submit. So we'll be waiting to the JSON to be parsed. So now, as you can see, this JSON parse JSON has 18 objects. So you can see the name. Where is the name? Where is the name? Give index. Let's close the ability 1. Forms, indices. We'll find the name. So you have here the name. It's on the root of the object. So next is now the plan I want to make is to make an app on our Android for a sample for JSON API call. So we just need to create this like this an app. Now let's redo that. An app with a button. So if I click this button, the name of the Pokemon will show right here and a photo of it. So that's what we need to do right now. So before we start, we need to find what we are finding. So now we will be fetching the name. That's that. It's the root outside of the JSON file. Next is this object sprites that contains many properties. So we need to get this front default. So we will be getting this texture to put on our Android Studio. So now let's create an Android project. So on tablet, empty project. Next, we'll be using for this project. I will be using Java. So this name is as JSON Pokemon. That's that. I'll be using API 23 for minimum SDK. Finish. Let's wait for the Gradle to build for a while. Now our Android project has loaded. So now, firstly, we need to do is to import this implementation. So you need to go to your Gradle scripts, go to the BL Gradle. So here we have your implementation. So now we need to implement some of that. So we'll be using Android Valley. So what is Android Valley? So we take example here. So Android Valley dependency is like this. So if we try to fetch data, so this is your app. So this is your data. If we try to fetch that and put it in our on our device, so fetch. So what if we every time we try to fetch the data, it will go to the server, diba? So it will go to the server. So what if we have mitigation to that will be much faster. So if we try to use Android Valley, we will be putting an cache here. So if we try to fetch first and show it here, so if we try to fetch that same data again, it no longer go to that go to the server. It will go to the saved cache and display in your device, so locally. So you don't need to go to the internet, but it has still a validation before you can see it in your device. So Android Valley makes our job more easier and faster. So implementation com dot android dot valley so we'll be using the 1.10 version. So if you're having trouble finding what version are you using, or are you using the obsolete one, so you can just search for this on our website. So let's find what version. So it's 1.2.1, but now I will be using this one at this version for now. So if that doesn't work, you need to update it in the version 1.2.1. So next implementation we need to implement is Picasso, Square Up Picasso. So that is implementation for our image texture. So if we fetch a web URL that contains an image, that will be converted into a texture. Later we will be doing that. So implementation com dot square up dot Picasso. Is that right? Picasso. So I think we need this version. It's like 2.5.2. I think that's right. So let's sync the Gradle. If there's any error, and there's no error. So we have successfully implement those two. So now let's go to your manifest, an Android manifest. So now your app will be accessing the internet. So we need a permission for that. So we need to do this. Need to close. No, don't close that. First, it uses permission Android name. So Android to the internet. So that's we need, and close it. So now your device has an access to the internet. So that's done. Next we need to do is create some layout. So go to your activity XML, delete that. Let's put some button here. So let's put some constraint. Hello. Let's name the button as Parse the text. So now like we'll need an image view. So click and drag here. Select that placeholder. So drag it out. I think that's enough. So let's constrain that. So we'll be finding this attribute scale. Scale will be scaling it to fit center. So that's if our image is too small, it will fit on our image. So now we are done on our layout. Let's go to our main activity. So now we need to create an we will be declaring some variables first. So we need a private text view, private text view, my Pokemon name. So let's do that. Next is we'll create a button, my button Parse. So that's done. So let's add that add that widget. So for now, if you let's put this as just an asterisk, so there is no problem on the future. We want to add another one. Next is we need to put the sprite, the image view. So private image view, my sprite. So that will be the image. We forgot another one, so let's go back. We need an plain text field. So for our Pokemon name, so we can search it. So let's let's constrain this here, constrain it on the button. So what is the problem right now? Too small. Too small. Still too small. That's that. So, okay. That's done. Next, we will be adding that private edit text, my search. So that's done. Now we will be creating another variable for our request. So we are using val Android Valley. So how do we declare a request? So let's put it as a private request. No. Request queue. Request queue. My queue. So let's figure out what is this. com Android that valid that okay, let's do that. No. That's Then Alt Enter. Let's do that. Import class. So we have imported the class. So import com.android.valid.request_queue. So that's done. So we have all our declared variables. Next is we need to create an method. Let's name it as private get a private get request public the private void. That's, so now we'll be finding all of this on our on our activity. So let's define it in our main on create. So let's do that. So text view equal to find id r.id dot what's the name of the text view. We haven't put in text view, so let's put that on the top. So sorry, I forgot. Let's do that. So look constraint. Make the size bigger, means a bit smaller, like that. Center, make it bold. Okay, that's done. So let's delete the text for now. Let's go back to our main activity. So we'll find that text view. So we're done. That's wrong. So we need to the variable name. So my button part is equal to find view r any that button. I think it's name button id. So my sprite equal to find id r id that image view. Lastly is our edit text. So my edit my search, I think it's no search, my search equal to find r.id dot edit text person's name. Is that right? So now we will be creating a one. So I will be copying pasting already done code, but I will be explaining that so you can understand. So I'll be copying pasting it here. So now it's done. So we need that class, import class. This import class again, alt enter. So com android valley request import class again. So you can see that here up and above what are the, and so you just need to highlight it and press if the blue pop-up will appear, you just click alt enter import class. You can see it is already there. This response, alt enter import class, that is your toolbox JSON, your my result Picasso. So the Picasso, need to import that, import class, This error 2, import that, import that too. So now we are already done. So if you want to minimize all that work I have done, so if you try this on your own, so you need to we can try this like this. You can delete that and put an asterisk. Delete that, put asterisk, or delete these two and put some asterisk. That too. So we are done. We cannot just put an asterisk on Picasso because the valley the valley class and the square up class will have an error. So I think they have same name as class, like the name response. So that's an error. So now we have here a string temporary URL. So my search dot get text to string. So as you can see, this is a declared string. To get the string, to get the text from our my search, to convert it into a string. So now the next step is our string. So we have here our string. So you have your empty string, add with the temporary URL. So now this empty string, we need to put the API call. So what is the API call again? That is API Pokemon. So that is Pokemon. Copy that, go back to your, paste that here, paste. So that's done. So if we try to click the button later, it will get the text data from our input field or edit text. Like if we try to search D2, it will go here in my search with this link, adding with the temporary URL, like that one. So next is we'll be creating a JSON object response. So response, so let's name it as request, new JSON request. Request method is get. So we'll get an data method. So request is with the method request, next variable is your URL, which is this. So URL null, which is JSON request, which is, we'll put it as null. Next is we have your public void on response. So this will be our catch and try. So on response, so what if there's an error, we can catch it. So print stack trace if next thing we need to do, if the response successfully fetch the JSON data, we'll put the string. So we have here a string, we declare a string, my Pokemon. So request get string name. So because since it's already outside, so since the name, no, let's go back here. Since the Pokemon API, so let's go back. Since the name is already outside or on the root of our JSON file, already here, we don't need to convert it into don't need to convert it into a JSON object. So now we will be directly getting the string. So this response, this is now the response we got from our web request. So this, we need to get the name. So we just need to response that get string name. So you need to put the name, so that it needs to be right, or spelled right. Case sensitive. This is case sensitive. So name, get name. So now we need to get the sprites, but the sprites are inside an object. The sprites inside Joe. So we need to convert it. So JSON object my Pokemon sprite. So that's what we declare. Response.json object. So sprites. So we are inside the Pokemon sprites object. So we'll find the sprites object, sprites property. So we are inside na on sprites property. So let's do this in a particular. No, let's do that here. You can easily understand. So since it's outside, so you can do that. So since the name is already in the root, so this is your name, but the sprites is inside an object. The front default that we need the sprites to get is inside the sprite. So this sprite. So we need to go in. So we need to go in here and extract this front default object. So from here, so we declare it as my Pokemon sprite. So we are inside the sprites right now. Next need to do is get the front default. So if we go back here, this is your front default. So we will be declaring that. So string sprite URL equals to my Pokemon sprite. So we'll find we are finding inside the Pokemon sprite, which is this sprite, get string front default. So now we got our things we need: the name object, the front default object from the sprites. So now we have all our data we have gathered. Next thing to do is put it on our view objects or UI. So now let's replace this is not, let's replace it as my Pokemon name. So now we'll be getting the string from this my Pokemon. So my Pokemon name set text as my Pokemon. That's that. Next is we need to put the string. We need to put the string to our sprite image view. That is my sprite. So we need to call this method Picasso with main activity, which is this activity we are currently load sprite URL, which is the sprite URL we got from the sprites object inside this front default property. Into, so that next is into my sprite, which is our image view UI. So that's done. So here, if the response has not has an error, so it will catch here. If our JSON request has an error, it will catch out on outside. So now we are done fetching all. Let's put our request, which is here, put it in my queue, which is what we declared earlier. So in my queue, to my queue, add request. So that's done. So for now, let's add a public void search button. So if we'll copy this, put it here. So let's go back to our UI. So this search button method will be on click listener on our button. So let's go to activity main. Let's click to the parse. Let's search for on click. Let's search for the Oh, why can't I search it? Ah, okay, okay. So we need to declare this as an view. Okay, so let's add that library. Import class. So widget view. Let's place it as asterisk so there's no problem in the future. So now we have here, we declared our search method with an returning with an class object view. So let's go to our main activity. We click this button. Let's find that. Oh, we have here the search button on click. So now that's done. Let's try if there's any error in building this. So build this. So for a while, I will get my USB USB connector to test this on my phone. Or maybe I can test it in my emulator in this computer. So for a while, it's building. So by the way, I'm disabling my antivirus, as you can see. So as I trying to build in my Android, the antivirus keep I keep messing it up since if I try to build the CPU usage of this antivirus, so Windows Defender will also go up. So that's why I disable it for now if I'm using Android Studio. So if you are done doing this, you need to set it on. So I just temporarily turn it off to make use of the CPU usage. So now that's done, we're building. So let's build an APK. So that's that. Let's locate that. So now I have an emulator. Uh, this is an LD player emulator now. So as you can see, this is our APK. So I'll be running this, installing this in an emulator if our work is already done or has some error. Let's try this. So if you're worried about the code, I will be uploading also the project folder for this. So you don't need to worry. So that is our app, JSON underscore Pokemon. Let's open this up. Let's try something like Dito. Oh, there's an error. Oh, there's an error. So I think let's debug it. So make sure if the error is legit. It's not only on our emulator. So I'll be connecting my phone using a mirror app called Scrapey. So this is from GitHub. You can also search this. Just search this name. So now I will open this. You will able to see my phone. So this is my phone. So now let's go back to the app. Let's build it again. Let's run a debug. Open this debug window. Go back to my phone. Let's install that again in my phone. Let's wait for that launching, debugging. So if this error will persist here, let's see, D2. Ah, oh no, that's the error. So let's look at the error. Fatal error main on click. So caused by Java reflect invocation com.valley request. So the error is from our Android Valley on a null object reference. So I think the error is on our request. So our request my queue. I think, oh, I forgot. So our my queue has not been declared as a request. So let's do that. So let's create my queue. So that is my queue. Declare at as valley dot new request. So we haven't declared a new request queue with this request queue in this activity. So let's put this, close that. So I think that is the error. So request queue. So that shows up the error on this debugging tool. So I think that is the error since we haven't declared my queue as a new request. So now let's try see it if it will able to run this time perfectly. Build that, rebuild, debug again. Debug again. Let's see in our debug if the error keeps coming up so we can try fixing it. Okay, let's try this again. D2. Okay, I click this. Oh, okay, it's not closing, but there's no. Okay, oh, it's working. It's working. Yay. So now let's try some other Pokemon like Pikachu. Pikachu. Parse it. Oh, so how do you know? So it's working. So we have fixed the error. So let's try another one like Charizard, maybe. Parse it. So it's working. So if we try something like a gibberish one, so it should not parse. So we try to see here 404 basic network performance unexpected error 404. So that's an unknown JSON. So if we try to click this, so it will return not found. So you need a specific correct spelling of the specific Pokemon. So that's it, guys. We are done here. So thank you very much and see you next time.